Stugatz.
Hey, Governor Christie?
Yeah, who's this?
It's Jimmy Dore.
Jimmy Dore, you old liberal so-and-so. How are you?
I'm doing good, Governor. How are you doing?
Not bad. Not too shabby. Just sitting here, eating what I want like a free American adult.
I thought that you were watching your weight.
I am, of course. I've made great progress. I'm down to microwaving and drinking 1 pint of Ben & Jerry's a day from 4. But you are correct, it is difficult. On one hand, there is the obvious need for me to check my caloric intake. On the other hand, I'm driven by a petulant and juvenile aversion to the concept of healthy eating, fueled by an irrational association of it with my political enemies, which forces me to spew nonsense concepts like food police and ignore my own raging cognitive dissonance regarding the topic. Losing weight is hard work, my friend.
Yeah, you really don't like people telling you what you can eat, do you?
Not one bit, buddy.
Especially the First Lady, huh?
Especially that salad-munching exercise junkie. She needs to keep a judgmental trap shut, if you ask me. When I get elected president, I'm going to tear up that stupid vegetable garden like I'm going to bury Billy Bats in it. A garden has no place on the White House lawn. And seeing kids working in that garden.
How is teaching children how food grows indoctrination?
Look, we conservatives are traditional. We hold traditional values. We aren't interested in these newfangled ideas about planting seeds, tending the soil, and reaping the harvest. We are God-fearing people who know that food is made in factories by hard-working Americans, not conjured from the earth with some hippie voodoo.
And you took some real issue with her healthy food initiative in public schools recently.
You bet I did. I said it. I said what everybody was thinking.
Everybody?
Everybody in that greasy spoon in the Midwest where I was talking.
Mm-hmm.
They all agreed with me because they think that ketchup is a vegetable. Just like the old school lunch rules used to say before old Miss Can Touch Her Toes stuck her nose where it doesn't belong.
Oh, yeah, the Village Inn.
You been there?
Yeah.
That's my favorite restaurant in Iowa. Good eating there. Good eating.
Yeah, I do. I do the road sometimes in the Midwest, and that's where I go to get, for a greasy hangover food. It's like the IHOP, but it's a little grosser.
It's traditional food.
What do you get there?
Eggs Benedict top with a Denver omelet.
Do they offer that?
I like to order off the menu, Jimmy. Shows I'm classy and that I know about food.
Okay. Let me break this down because I have difficulty understanding all this. Are you against children eating healthy meals? Hello? Governor Christie, are you against...
No, of course. When you phrase it like that, no, of course I'm forced to say I'm not against children eating healthy meals. But
what?
I have a gut reaction to the phrase children eating healthy meals like it's liberal and faggy. And the Republican base does too.
So you're striking out at an aesthetic, phrases you don't like.
Yes, images, feelings, fears, anxieties. None of them make sense. But conservatism allows you to take those things, plug them into our quote-unquote ideology, and then make an enemy out of someone doing nothing really wrong.
Like Michelle Obama.
Exactly. Here you have an in-shape, well-to-do, educated black woman in the White House. Already half of America is furious right there. She could say free puppies for everybody and we'd still be mad. And she's trying to make our children eat healthily.
She's not coming into people's homes and telling them what to eat. She's saying that public schools, which are charged with some degree to take care of children while they're at the school, maybe they should be providing nourishing food, which, by the way, makes children do better in school.
All right. Just zip it. Nobody wants to hear it.
But that is what...
I say what's what. All that making sense shit. You're missing the point. The one comfort most working-class white Americans have is eating complete fucking garbage. thinking Mountain Dew and Funyuns is a fucking meal, that becomes part of their identity. And they start to think of themselves as Mountain Dew and Funyuns people, and their children as well. So when they hand their children over to the state, code word for enemy, state, nanny state, whatever, the state tries to take their French fries and pepperoni pizza away from them, they feel the state is trying to take away their and their children's identity. And since their identity is also Christian, this enemy must also be anti-Christian, probably Muslim, perhaps even satanic.
Okay, that makes absolutely no sense.
Of course not. So here's what the Republicans do. We play to those irrational fears directly, but we codify it. We talk about choice, nanny state, like I said, big government. Moms and dads know what's best for their bambinos. And we are able to make an enemy out of the people who are trying to actually help the children. And if you were a deaf politician like myself, you run a political campaign on that shit.
Ah, the playing to old fears.
Exactly. We all do it. The winner of this race is going to be the one who plays on conservative working-class Americans' most fundamental fears. And that's how I'll beat Trump.
Oh, really? How so?
What fears are Trump playing on? Fear of Mexicans, terrorism, Muslims, dangerous people.
Right.
But what is that fear really? Fear of death. Fear of Muslims blowing everything up is the fear of death.
Yeah, I suppose.
What do people fear more than death, Jimmy?
I don't know.
More than being killed, people fear being nullified, being erased, being told they don't matter, that they are impotent bystanders watching the parade of history go by. That is a fate worse than death. If you get killed, your sons can avenge you. But if your entire identity is annihilated, your children's is too.
Okay.
And this is how the overweight, underpaid, white, working-class American feels. And combine those fears with the fears of having to face the fact that you were a bad parent because you feed your children fucking garbage. Which is what the very concept of healthy eating and nutritious food only serves. You have a very fertile ground for serious demagoguery.
And you've been planting seeds in that fertile ground, haven't you?
Exactly. I'm planting... You motherfucker, you! Tricking me with that garden shit. Anyway, Donald Trump thinks he can play on fear. But he doesn't understand fear because he's never felt it. I understand fear, my friend. And fear is my ally. I'm Fat Man.
I thought the school lunch tirade on your part was just thoughtless pandering, but it seems like this is a very clever, calculating, terrifying thing strategy.
Precisely, Jimmy Dore. You can laugh at my front butt all you like on your little show. But believe me, this pubic beach ball of mine will be deftly telegraphing to the good people of Iowa that I am one of you. I understand you. And I will protect you from what you fear the most. Asparagus and sit-ups. Or, more specifically, having to admit those are good things and not, in fact, satanic.
Well, it's been terrifying talking with you. Thanks for stopping by, Governor.
My pleasure. Now, if you excuse me, I have to cure the heartburn I get from talking to liberals by coating my esophagus with molten chunky monkey.
Okay, Governor Chris Christie.